Hi, I'm Melissa Broaddus. On May 1st, 2013, regional standards for furnaces were supposed to go into effect. But at the beginning of April, the Department of Energy announced that it would not be enforcing these new rules. Why? Because the DOE is attempting to settle a lawsuit filed by the American Public Gas Association. If the court accepts the settlement, it would result in a whole new furnace rule. What does this mean for contractors? Where is all this headed? We've asked Charlie McCrudden of ACCA to answer those questions and more about regional standards. It's all coming up next on this edition of Everything's Political from IE3 TV.
Hi, I'm Charlie McCrudden. Earlier this month, the Department of Energy released an enforcement policy statement to address some of the uncertainty over new regional standards for the most commonly installed residential furnaces in the United States. Those standards would require all non-weatherized natural gas furnaces installed in 30 northern states to have an AFUE rating of at least 90%, starting on May 1st, 2013. The same furnaces installed in the rest of the country would have to be at least 80% AFUE. But these standards were challenged by the American Public Gas Association in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. Instead of going to trial, the DOE chose to resolve the case through mediation, and a settlement was filed with the court in January. Under the terms of the settlement, the new standards would not go into effect, and instead the DOE would have to rewrite the rules. Unfortunately, the court hasn't accepted the settlement yet, and until the court rules on the settlement, the standards are set to go live on May 1st. This delay has left manufacturers, distributors, contractors, and even homeowners in a legal limbo. To add to the confusion, the agency never developed an enforcement plan for the standards, as required by Congress. So contractors have no idea what new responsibilities or liabilities they may face under these rules. So on April 5th, the DOE announced that, quote, in an exercise of its enforcement discretion, the agency will, during the pendency of the litigation, act in a manner consistent with the terms of the settlement agreement with regard to enforcement of the standards, end quote. So what does this mean for homeowners and contractors? The DOE has said publicly it intends to enforce the rules as if the settlement agreement was accepted by the court. That means that even though regional furnace rules may remain on the books due to the court delay, there will be no consequences for installing a non-condensing furnace in any state after May 1st. Of course, if the settlement agreement is accepted by the court before May 1st, then the standards will be officially rescinded. As a reminder, the current minimum AFUE for residential, non-weatherized natural gas furnaces installed in all states is 78%. Now, in all likelihood, it will take at least 2 years for the DOE to rewrite the rules, followed by a 5-year interval before they are effective, which means any new standards won't be effective until the years 2019 or 2020. Finally, I should point out that new standards for residential central air conditioners and heat pumps are still set to go into effect on January 1st, 2015. Updates on this issue are happening fast and furious. To keep up with the latest developments, check my blog regularly. In your web browser, go to blog.accca.org. And if you're a member of ACCA and you have a specific question, the fastest way to get in touch with us is to go to www.acccapriority.com. Log in and submit your question or comment, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. That site is for ACCA members only. That's all for this episode of Everything's Political. I'm Charlie McCrudden. Thanks for watching.